Hayes Dominion disc brakes, pad replacement and installation procedures. Due to wear, contamination, or damage, the brake pads will, on occasion, need to be replaced. Worn pads can permanently damage the rotors. So, routinely check the condition of the pads to ensure a long service life of the entire brake system. Please note, if the replacement pads are a different compound, like changing from sintered to semi-metallic, you should also change the rotor. Pads deposit a layer of friction material onto the rotor, and mixing pad compounds on a single rotor is not recommended. Assemble these tools and let's get started. For ease of demonstration, we've removed the whole caliper and master cylinder from the bike. Once you've removed the wheel, you can remove the pad retaining pin from the caliper using a hex wrench. Remove the pads and sandwich spring through the window in the bottom of the caliper. Be careful not to stroke the brake lever at this time. You could inadvertently advance the pistons from the caliper bores. Using a tire lever or the boxed end of a 10mm wrench, push the caliper pistons back in their bores until they're flush with the edge of the caliper. This will give you more room to insert the new pads. Be careful not to scratch the piston and make sure it is not misaligned in the bore. Lay one of the pads in your hand with the pad material facing up and the retaining pinhole pointing away from you. Now lay the sandwich spring on the pad so the holes in the spring line up with the retaining pinhole of the pad. The second pad can be placed face down on the sandwich spring, lining up all of the retaining pinholes. Compress the pads together on the sandwich spring and insert the set through the bottom of the caliper. Now insert the pad retaining pin through the hole in the caliper and through the tab on both pads and the sandwich spring. Torque the pad pin to the proper specification. Reinstall the wheel and stroke the lever several times. Examine the caliper and pads to be sure both pads are advancing and retracting correctly. Burnishing, or breaking in the pads, is required to increase braking performance. Do this by riding the bike to around 15 miles per hour and come to a stop. The most noticeable performance gains are seen in the first 15 stops. Up to 50 stops may be required to achieve 100% burnish and provide optimum performance. You have completed the Hayes Dominion brake pad replacement process. Please continue to our YouTube channel and hayesbicycle.com for more maintenance procedures and assembly instructions. Thank you for riding with Hayes.